Hey guys, it's Grant Mitt. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. What I want to talk to you about is why life is corrupt and why you can use that to your advantage if you know how to play the game and you know how to figure out where you want to go in life. What I've learned over the years is everything happens for a reason. Nothing just happens. Whether you see it on the media, you see it on the news, you see it on social media, whether it's at a company that you're working for and someone suddenly gets promoted, or this company suddenly goes out of business, or suddenly sells, or someone becomes the CEO suddenly and you weren't expecting it. People love theatrics. They love to make things seem that it just happened or it just made sense or whatever the case may be. What I learned is that everything is corrupt and everything is an inside game. Now, I don't always necessarily mean corrupt in a horrible way, but to the normal person, to the outside human eye watching from a distance, that the theatrics are basically bullshit. And what you have to do is you have to learn to play the game in such a way that you're involved on the inside to move up and do things for the right way. Now, let me just give you a basic example of this. Let's say that you're working at a company and your goal is to become the director of operations or vice president of operations, and you're in a project management role. Instead of just focusing on being your best self, showing up to work every day, making your boss above you feel special or feel like, y'all have a good relationship, you can't think one-dimensionally. And the problem is most people only think 1 to maybe 2 steps ahead. They don't think far enough along that they can set themselves up for success. And so a simplistic way to figure this out is go, okay, who makes the actual real decisions in the organization? Who would actually make the final call that you're moving up to director of operations? Who makes that call? Let's say you go, okay, well, that's the COO and the CEO. Now, if you suddenly just go, okay, that's it, now I got to go make the CEO love me and I got to have the COO love me, what could happen is you could end up making the current project manager that's over you feel threatened by you, and now they could sabotage you from ever getting that role or ever getting promoted because they'd be scared that they might lose their job. So that's my point. You can't think one level in advance. And what you want to do is you want to look through all the moving factors. Okay, number 1, who is above you currently? Number 2, who is the current director of operations and why is he or she in that role? What talent do they possess? What background and experiences do they have? Who do they know? Who do they work with? What type of traits do they have as a leader? Next, figure out, okay, who else wants this position? Who wants this position? Is it my boss right above me? Is it potentially someone that could be hired from the outside in? What are they going to do? Who do they know? What experience do they have? And as you start thinking through all these different things, you basically want to have a full breakdown of all the things needed to get it, but also all of the things that are preventing you from getting it. This could be experience, this could be connections and relationships with the people who are the decision makers. This could be you're stuck behind someone, and until that person gets fired, quits, or leaves, or whatever the case may be, you're pretty much at a standstill. And so you got to really break this down and you got to play the long game. The first thing is this. You have to understand that in any situation, I want to say 99% of the time, but I really feel like it's more than 100, is people are always going to lead with their self-interest. People have gotten so good at disguising this. They get nice, they say fake things, they do things that create a facade. But even the people that go, oh, I don't care about money, I don't care about doing these things, they're full of it. They're always leading with their self-interest. The easiest way to see this is everyone is cool and great until there's a huge inheritance in a family, and suddenly everyone has horrible colors. Everybody is suddenly rude, everyone is suddenly disrespectful, Everyone's crazy and they're fighting over money when family or parents just died. So that's my point. All these people that didn't care about money are suddenly obsessed with money the second someone in their family member dies, where they could get an inheritance. And so when that happens, you get to see people's true colors. So when you know that everyone's going to serve their best interests, the answer to this problem is simple yet complex. You have to make it make sense for more people than less for you to move into this position. Meaning, let's say you had a boss currently over you, you would have to create something, somehow, some situation that he or she who is currently above you would be in a beneficial manner. Something would happen. They would get into a different role. They would move up. They would get a pay raise. They would look good. Something like that for you to move into that role. For the C-suites that are actually deciding it, you would have to be adding so much value to the organization, so much revenue. They would have to work less, maybe, worry about less, know that you have the expertise. The people that maybe are on your team or in the current company, their productivity would increase, something of that nature. It would have to make sense for them. Now, on top of that, the person that's above you, let's say that current director of operations, would likely either need to move up into a VP of operations or leave the organization or go into a different role. So them moving you into that role would give them that ability to move into a different position or situation. So you see what I mean? Every single person that's involved, it has to make sense for. Now, you can't do this typically directly. You have to position yourself in the right way, and you have to know who not to threaten. When you're trying to elevate, the biggest threat and the number one person, in my opinion, that has the biggest ability to ruin your chances of moving up and succeeding is typically, not every time because it could be retiring or something, but let's say they're young and they're motivated, is the person that's directly above you. No one is typically as insecure or worried about how good you are than the person that is directly above you. People love power. People love being in control, but you have to be willing to not make that person feel threatened. You have to be like this with this person. And many times, a good thing that you can do is just play a little bit dumb. Be a little bit more simple. When you're around them and they're around their boss, make them, the person ahead of you, look great, feel superior, feel smarter. And honestly, you should just do that with everyone. You should make everyone around you feel great. If you don't create a feeling of being threatened or that you could take their job or you have alternative motives, if you can do that, all the people that are around you will respect you and like you because you keep making their life better. The people around them go, man, this person might be great. But no one goes, oh, you're a bad person. Oh, you're not good at your what you do. And when you constantly give praise to everyone around you, like genuine praise, not fake praise, like you actually say, thank you, man, you've done so much for us. I've learned so much from you in this position. And you're constantly dishing it out to everyone that you're around. Oddly, what happens, because you're not overcompensating, trying to make yourself look so good, they look and they go, yeah, I really like that guy. He's great. How is his numbers? How good is he as a project coordinator? How good was his sales last year? They go, oh, he's one of the best. Like, you can just tell. Oh, that's a good dude right there. He's gonna have a good future ahead of him. So when people don't feel threatened, it makes sense for them to push you up. It makes sense to them to give you an opportunity or say your name in rooms that you're not in that make your life better and it can help you achieve more success. And so, the mistake I made early on is I thought that if every room I went into, I could just show everyone I was the best and I could show them my skills, that I would get all these opportunities, and time after time after time again, I would constantly get quote unquote screwed over, which I wasn't. People were just sabotaging my success because it was the only way in their mind that they thought it could help them get what they want. And what you got to do is, the hardest part about business, about success, about moving up in life is the setup. It's preparing to get the opportunity. Once you get the opportunity, you just got to deliver. Like, it's really, 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 really hard to be invited to the NFL Combine, to be an All-American in college, beat all of those odds, and get to a combine with 300 plus people. Very, very difficult. It's even harder to be a first-round draft pick. And so you got to think about how much effort and preparation it takes just to get the opportunity to get on that stage. It's the same thing for becoming super successful in a business, starting a company, getting a massive investment, becoming the top sales rep at an organization. It takes setup. And if instead you spend the bulk of your energy going, how do I position myself to get the opportunity to succeed, instead of just hoping and wishing someday someone gives it to you, then you've created the person that's, one, is capable of actually doing that role. Meaning, let's say that goal is to be that director of operations, or CEO, or whatever it is. You've become that person before you actually got that role. Then two, you've made all the necessary networking, connections, and most importantly, relationships to put you in a conversation that could lead to that actually being fulfilled. And when those two things happen, now you just have to execute. Opportunities, Richard Branson says this, opportunities are like bus stops. There's always, if you miss the bus, there's always going to be another one. They never stop going. Think about the last 5 years. It was crypto, then it was Web3, now it's AI. They're going to come up with something else soon. There's always going to be opportunities and new things coming. You just got to be at the bus stop. And then when you get there, you cannot miss your opportunity. So hope you guys enjoyed this quick YouTube video. I just literally grabbed lunch with some friends and want to make a quick YouTube video. But guys, if you join this content, make sure to check out my social medias at Grant Mitt, as well as the Grant Mitt Podcast. And we have some exciting guests coming over the next few months. But as always, thank you guys for the support. Hope you have a great week. Thanks.